Welcome to Cyber Deep Dive. Today, we're mapping attack surfaces by scanning ports. Notice how the open ports on screen.
In this session, we're covering threat vectors and attack surfaces, focusing specifically on identifying open ports.
All right, let's talk about cybersecurity. We hear about it all the time, right? Hacks, data breaches, it's a lot. But what does it really boil down to? Well, it all starts with understanding something called your attack surface. It's basically knowing all the possible ways someone could get into your digital world. So, let me ask you a question. How secure is your digital house? It sounds simple, but the answer, it's pretty complicated. And today, we're going to use that exact idea, a house, to make sense of this whole thing.
Okay, this right here, this is the key to everything. Just imagine for a second that your company or even just your own digital life is a house. The attack surface is every single way someone could get in. We're talking every door, every window, the chimney, even a tiny little vent you forgot about. And a threat vector? Well, that's just the exact path a burglar, our attacker, uses to break in. See? It's a simple analogy, but it's super powerful for figuring out where you might be vulnerable.
So to put it officially, the attack surface is the sum of all possible entry points an attacker could use. It's not just one weak spot, it's the grand total of every single opportunity they have to get in or pull data out. Now that we've got the basic blueprint, let's actually take a tour of our digital house and see where all these doors and windows really are. First things first, we're starting at the foundation. We're talking about the core infrastructure. You know, the walls, the wiring, and all the basic appliances that make our digital house stand up and run. Let's start with the network attack surface. Think of this like all the wires and pipes coming into your house from the street, the internet connection, the phone lines. Every open port is like an unlocked utility panel on the side of your house. Attackers use tricks like port scanning, which is pretty much like walking around your house and methodically jiggling every single handle to see if one is unlocked. And then, of course, you've got the physical stuff. This is as real as it gets. The actual data centers, the server rooms, your router sitting on a shelf, and even the USB ports on your laptop. These are the literal doors and locks. If an attacker can get their hands on your hardware, they can try to plug in a malicious USB stick, or even simpler, just pick up a server and walk right out the door with it. Next up are the endpoints. What are those? They're all the high-tech appliances we fill our house with. Our laptops, our smartphones, tablets, even the office printer. Each one is a sophisticated little computer, and that means every single one is another potential doorway for malware to sneak in, or for an attacker to steal credentials. All right, our tour continues. Now we're going to look at all the ways our digital house actually connects with the outside world. Think mail slots, Wi-Fi signals floating through the air, and even the delivery services we depend on. Let's talk about the cloud. Using the cloud is kind of like renting a super secure storage unit down the street to keep your stuff. It's really convenient, but here's the catch. Its security is completely up to you. If you accidentally misconfigure the permissions, which is basically the digital version of leaving the key under the doormat, you could be leaving all your valuable data wide open for anyone to grab. Then there's the stuff you can't even see. I'm talking about your Wi-Fi network, your Bluetooth devices, all these invisible signals floating around your house. An attacker could set up what's called an evil twin access point. It's a fake Wi-Fi network that looks exactly like yours, tricking your phone or laptop into connecting to it. And once you're connected, they can see everything you're doing. Email. This is one of the absolute classics. It is the mail slot of your digital house. And the most common attack, by far, is phishing. It's where an attacker sends you a perfectly innocent-looking package, an email, hoping you'll bring it inside and open up that malicious attachment or click on that dangerous link. They're trying to trick you into letting them in. Now, this one is a little trickier, but it is so important. Your supply chain is like the trusted services you use. Think of a repair company that has a key to your house. You trust them. But what happens if that company gets hacked? An attacker can piggyback on that trust, sneaking a malicious software update through the very front door that you left open for a trusted partner. Okay, for the final stop on our tour, we're going inside the house. We're going to look at the people who live there, the custom gadgets they use, and of course, the most valuable thing in the whole house, the jewelry box. You know, it's wild to think that after all this talk about fancy technology, sometimes the biggest vulnerability is us, the people inside the house. Attackers are great at social engineering. Why bother breaking down a door when you can just call someone up and trick them into opening it for you? So think of all the apps on your phone or computer as the custom-built gadgets you have around the house. They're incredibly useful, right? But if they have any design flaws, like a poorly made lock, an attacker can exploit those bugs. They use these clever tricks like SQL injection or cross-site scripting to wiggle their way in and take control.
And then there are the keys. The identity attack surface is really just the whole collection of keys to your house, all your usernames and passwords. If an attacker can guess or steal one of those keys, using things like password spraying or brute force attacks, they don't need to break in. They can just unlock the front door and walk right on in.
And all of this, it leads us to the ultimate prize, the data. This is the jewelry box. It's the safe in the wall. It is what the attackers are really after. They're trying to get to your databases, your file servers, your backups, so they can steal or exfiltrate your most valuable information.
So, after this whole tour, what's the big lesson here? Well, it's time to think about fortifying our defenses. Because as we've just seen, it's pretty simple. The bigger your house gets, the more doors and windows you have to remember to lock.
And that brings us to the single most important idea to take away from all of this. It's this quote right here. The larger the attack surface, the more opportunities an attacker has. Every new app you install, every new employee you hire, every new cloud service you use, it adds another potential door or window to your house.
Which brings us right back to where we started, but hopefully with a totally new perspective. I want you to really think about your own digital house for a second. Your phone, your email, your work network, everything. So let me ask you one last time. How many unlocked doors do you have?